weird scenario. I don't think it'll happen.
I don't either, but it's possible. You want to go there?
Are we sure Kyrie's going to Brooklyn? What if he didn't?
All right, I'll give you some insight on Kyrie. I do think Brooklyn is definitely at the forefront of his mind right now. There are people close to Kyrie that will tell you he's very unpredictable and changes his mind. Like, so he might plan something and then at the last minute change his mind. It could be what I'm going to do this weekend. It could be our dinner plans for the night. It could be where I'm going to play next year in free agency. But he will change his mind, or he thinks about something the second time and says, nah, I don't want to do that. So even people close to him are leaving open the possibility of virtually everything. So with that said, here's the scenario we were talking about. If Brooklyn doesn't get Kevin Durant and says, you know what, we're not going to bring in Kyrie by himself, which if I'm Brooklyn, Kyrie's better than D'Angelo Russell, no doubt. But I would keep D'Angelo Russell. Assuming there were no major issues with him and his teammates in the locker room, whatever, which I didn't hear of anything, I would keep D'Angelo. He's cheaper, and then go from where I was last year. If New York doesn't get Durant and says, we're not going to take Kyrie by himself, then where does Kyrie go? Then that's when I think the Lakers are in play. Unless Kyrie and Durant said, you know what, why don't we go to the Clippers together? So that could be a scenario. But I think that would be the best opportunity for the Lakers to get Kyrie.
It's interesting. Jimmy Butler's situation is fascinating because you and I both agree Houston is a little bit. You can see Houston in two worlds. They're a hot mess, just trying to grab the most talented guy, because I don't think Jimmy Butler.
That's the world I see him in.
Okay, I don't think Harden and Jimmy Butler and Chris Paul work at all. Or there's they could just stand pat and be pretty good. I will say this, though. If I'm Philadelphia and you gave me Tucker, Gordon, and Clint Capella, maybe.
I wouldn't want Capella.
Okay.
Not that he's not a good player, but I already have Embiid. I already have Simmons sometimes. I have to play him down low. And Capella's got a big long-term contract.
If I'm Philadelphia and I'm like, I'm not letting go of Embiid, I think Simmons is still a world-class talent. And Tobias Harris, we won't give him max, but we think it's a good locker room guy. Could Philadelphia look different next year?
Oh, look, if Houston comes to the table and we know they need to get a third team involved in that deal. So if they come to the table to Philadelphia and say, look, we'll give you Eric Gordon, P.J. Tucker, and we've got a point guard, a Jeff Teague type, a Darren Collison type, that we'll send you in the deal as well from a third team, I would do it if I'm Philly. Jimmy Butler is great there. But I would be hesitant about turning over my locker room to Jimmy Butler.
So would I.
If you give him, he was a handful going into free agency, okay, when you're usually on your best behavior. If you give him 5 years max money, he's going to run that locker room, do whatever he wants, and we know his history in that situation. So in the other situation, I've got P.J. Tucker can shoot and defend. I've got Eric Gordon is a great shooter. I bring back J.J. Redick. I bring back Tobias Harris. Oh, Philly is looking good in that scenario.
Ask yourself, LeBron knows players in this league. So LeBron, while the rest of us, myself included, liked Andrew Wiggins, LeBron didn't want any piece of Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins today has been a major disappointment. Right. LeBron knows, LeBron never been close to John Wall, right? Like John Wall, something the media gassed up. LeBron was always reticent. LeBron reticent to Wiggins. By the way, I'm told LeBron's not a huge fan of playing with Jimmy Butler. What does that tell you about Jimmy Butler? LeBron has a very good understanding. I'm not saying he's a GM, but LeBron knows the guys you want to be in the room with.
Well, and here's the thing, too.
He sought Kevin Love, Chris Bosh.
Right.
But say what you want about him, they were willing to marginalize their own games for championships. I don't think Jimmy Butler is.
Well, and think about it. LeBron's never shied away from tough personalities. Lance Stevenson, Rajon Rondo, J.R. Smith. Like, he's usually embraced those guys if he doesn't want to play with Butler, that does take some. Because I do think Butler would be on his better behavior with LeBron because I think he'd respect LeBron. As usually he's had issues with younger guys where he's the man, and even though they may be better players, they're younger than him. But yeah, I hear the same thing, that the Lakers aren't going for Jimmy Butler. Now, there's a report that they are, but I've heard that he's not really.
I was told 6 months ago the Clippers were not into Jimmy Butler.
No, they're not. Now, look. If these teams, if the Clippers, if it was Kawhi will go there if you bring Jimmy Butler,
then you do it.
Then they take it. Because I do hear one of the concerns Kawhi has with the Clippers is who is the second guy. Is there a second guy? It was tough for him physically to carry Toronto without a second star. So I don't know if that's a concern of his. Do I want to put myself in that situation again? So that could be a situation where he says, go get Butler or whoever, and then I'll come. And you do it if you have to.
By the way, Kemba Walker Celtics, you can sort of tell when something's going to happen. You can read various reports. It feels like it's going to happen.
I love it. And Kyrie, I do think, is a better player than Kemba, but I think the Celtics will be better and better off with Kemba in that locker room than Kyrie. I think Kemba will be much more in tune to Brad Stevens and what he's selling. I think Kemba will get along better with the young guys. And Kemba's very good. And again, even though I think Kyrie's better, what if Kyrie had never linked up with LeBron? How much differently would we think of him than Kemba Walker? Because he never won.
Years ago, this was before LeBron went to Cleveland. Bruce Hooley was the name of the guy. He's a sportscaster, very good sportscaster in Ohio. And so I brought him on my show, and I loved Kyrie. And he goes, I'm just going to tell you, I watch him every night. He's injury prone. Players don't like him. He's a huge diva, and he's tough to coach. He's unbelievably talented. I've said this. If you take LeBron out of Kyrie's career, it's a lot of nonsense. It's a lot of struggling with coaches and struggling with teammates. And I 2 nights ago, I was with a couple of guys who I respect, and they like Kyrie, and they're both like, our sources tell us Kyrie is a handful in a room.
Kyrie went weeks without talking to teammates in Cleveland and Boston.
Weeks.
I'm told. Weeks. I was told during the finals, for like 9 days, he didn't talk to teammates. I mean, just, I don't know if moody is the word or what. And then sometimes he's great. So it's that is the question people have about Kyrie. I think if he had never hooked up with LeBron, he'd be a perennial all-star. He would be somewhat iconic because of his handle. I think he's got the best handle in NBA history. But he would probably not be viewed as a winner. And
he would not be viewed as a winner.
And that's where you have to I think the Celtics are going to be great with Kemba.
Good seeing you, buddy. Remember, folks, in sports, a trade can make or break your team. A good one can mean a championship. A bad one sets the franchise back for years. You need to make good choices. With TrueCar, you got a star in your roster. Simply enter your license plate number to TrueCar. Watch how your car's details pop up, then answer a few questions. Got a sports package or a moonroof? Watch as they bump up your car's value in real time. High mileage, low mileage. What's it going to cost you? Going to ding your wallet? Strategize your next move. Once you've finished, you'll get a true cash offer sent to you in minutes. You bring in your car to a local certified TrueCar dealer. We did it and saved $3,000. True cash offers not available in all states. New or used? Want a stronger, more confident car buying experience? Check out TrueCar today.